Hey guys, and welcome back to Twilight Princess. Well, I've put it off for as long as I can, which is to say, one part or so. So it's time to start the chain of events, which will eventually lead to Ilia getting her memory back.
AKA the part of the game I don't remember at all. How ironic. But no, this part's just so fucking boring that I actually completely forgot that this was a part of the game.
Well, she's a complete non-entity in terms of character. We're expected to have some sort of connection with her, but it's more of a case of them telling and not showing. Like, there's barely any flashbacks to her and Link as kids, so there's no, like, emotional connection there.
Yeah, and the game's tone about this whole Ilia memory thing almost makes it seem like we have a vested interest, but no. I couldn't care less that her retrograde amnesia gets cured or not. I really don't.
Now, as Renato here is saying, Shadow's in the basement and he's investigating stuff regarding the sky. As I mentioned in the last part, the next dungeon is City in the Sky. It's not a spoiler, you know, it's like 10 years old. But we have to take this letter to Telma to kick things off, so I guess we should go and do that.
Yeah, this is another annoying part about this whole bit. It would have been just fine, you know, you talk to one guy, talk to a guy right next to him, and then you go get Ilia's memories done. But instead, it's like, hey, let me talk to you, and now you gotta talk to someone on the other side of the map, and they're probably gonna make you talk to someone all the way back here, and no, you're still not gonna go get her memories, because you gotta go get some items, too.
You'd think the warp points would help to alleviate the tedium, but it's a Zelda game. What do you want to do when you pop in a Zelda game? Fight enemies, solve puzzles in a dungeon. Going back and forth, like, in this kind of mandatory way, isn't fun.
No, like, if this was a side quest, like, an optional way to get, I don't know, like, say, a third super power sword, maybe. Maybe. But the fact that this is required to just get to the next dungeon, it's stupid. Why?
This is a problem I had with Minish Cap, and the thing with Minish Cap is, you can go through dungeons pretty quickly, they're not the hardest dungeons ever. The way they pad out that game is they put a lot of, I don't want to say complicated stuff, but stuff where you can like easily get sidetracked or tricked into not finding the right answer. Especially with the library books, that's the one that sticks out in my mind, and it just serves to pad out the whole experience.
Minish Cap kinda gets away with it in the fact that it only has like 4 dungeons, so you gotta have something in between said dungeons, but Twilight Princess has enough dungeons to fill up time. And it was doing just fine with the previous 3 dungeons of just, hey, just get to the next dungeon. Yeah, there's gonna be shit along the way before you get to the dungeon, but you were making progress towards the doorstep of said dungeon. This is just us dicking around and going in circles, and then we eventually pop up at the dungeon's doorstep.
I have to say, there's a part coming up after this where you have to go around Hyrule finding symbols to put into a book to activate a cannon to get to the sky. That part, I strangely don't have a problem with. I can see the logic behind it. This, as part of the story, no. And that's kind of the last word I have to say about it, bitching-wise, honestly. Let's just get on with it.
I like how the letter looks like either a ravioli or like a candy wrapper.
She's got it bad for Renato.
She's got it bad for everyone.
Are we absolutely sure that her and Renato didn't have a fling and it resulted in a looter?
You know what? I'm not gonna say outright no, and I'm not gonna say outright yes, because it's a video game, and everyone's gonna have their silly theories, and if you don't agree with said theory, then you're stupid, wrong, and you deserve to be berated in comments of videos.
Link is now a debt collector. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this.
Shit. I like how debt collectors have replaced the boogeymen of my nightmares.
Oh, well, that's adulthood for you, mate.
Yeah. Can I not be an adult? Can I just keep playing video games forever and not grow up?
Don't turn into me, mate. The results are not pretty.
It's better than the alternative.
Next up, we have to go strong-arm some money out of the really pervy kind of doctor. He doesn't show it, but pay attention to the dialogue that's coming up. It's very easy to see.
Couldn't we also wrestle money from that guy who's collecting funds to rebuild Hyrule Castle Town? I'm sure he has money.
What, you mean the Goron?
No, that one guy who's by the entrance who's like, help us rebuild, donate. And it's like, you've definitely got money on you.
No, I think he just wants money, and then he'll give you a little prayer, and then you get a heart piece. You know, I never realised this before, but when I was editing this footage, you know how there's like stand-ins for characters from old games and whatnot? Is this meant to be the guy who's like in Lake Hylia's laboratory?
Yeah! Yeah, he does have a similar shaped head, and stance, and glasses. If not, then it makes way more sense than, what was it, Perlu being a stand-in for Tingle? At least this guy is physically similar.
Well, I guess Perlo, which is kind of take off purloin, like to steal, is like a reimagined version of Tingle. Like what Tingle would imagine himself to be. But if you're looking for direct evidence, there's obviously the hood, and he has Tingle's blue watch, so...
And that Hyrule Historia outright says they're related? Guys, you can't argue it word of God.
Alright, we're just gonna push this box back here, and... Mate, you need to clean your house, because Jesus Christ.
Ew, I mean, I have a big mess in my room too, but nothing that rots and stinks up the whole thing.
Oh, it's just medicine, thank God. Wait, what kind of medicine emits a foul green odor?
You know what? I don't know. None that I know of.
I think he's blazing that noise in the back room. It's medicinal, alright, it's medicinal.
Hey, where I live, it's completely legal.
As it should be, to be honest. So long as it's regulated, I ain't got no problem with what people inject into their bodies.
Dude, they actually built a park from funds that they collected from taxing it. They built an entire, actually fucking gorgeous park. Our state is rolling in revenue.
Like, what would you prefer? Having a relatively harmless drug, like, made illegal, and you're having to get it from drug dealers and whatnot, or buying it over the counter to help with pain?
This part just got super political, but it's totally cool.
Like, I kind of stand in the middle, like, liberal on one side, Republican, conservative on the other. But in terms of drugs and whatnot, I'm kind of more liberal than anything. It's like, I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't even do drugs, but you shouldn't really be telling people what they can and can't put into their bodies. So long as it's not super harmful and liable to kill them, I think it's fine.
So long as it's not like Dune, and everyone's all hopped up on spice.
This is one of those points when you're gonna wish you had the ability to change the time. And don't forget, there's only certain parts of the map that actually scroll time-wise.
That's always a weird thing that they've kept in Zelda. It's almost very archaic to me. It makes sense in Ocarina of Time, I guess, but honestly, in all later Zelda games, time flow should be occurring. If you're gonna include it, time flow should occur at all places. Except maybe in dungeons. I'll give you that, because maybe that can give the illusion of, like, you know, the dungeons are separate from reality or something. Like, you don't really know how long you've been inside a dungeon.
Hey, Mr. Goron, you want to help me with these guys? No? You just gotta keep punching those boulders? Okay.
Stallwolf's brought back since the Midna's Lament. Well, guess what, fucker? She's not dead now.
They're not hard at all. Slightly intimidating visually, but otherwise as frail as they appear to be.
Well, at least they hunt in a pack. That's kind of cool. Gee willikers, and Tom, I sure am glad that we have a giant's wallet to accommodate all these rupees.
Oh yes, now to spend it on absolutely nothing.
That's another thing too with Zelda games. So when the wallet isn't big enough and you got all this fucking money, got nothing to spend it on.
Well, there is one particular item that can literally burn through your rupees. We'll be getting it later. Probably won't be using it in the part I get it though, but I digress. This is Ilya's idol. Now we have to take it back to her, and hopefully it can help to jog her memory.
And now that we have the idol, we are the idol master. And now we can get hamburgers.
I don't get that reference at all, mate, and frankly it frightens me.
You don't get it? That just makes you a decent human being. If you do get the reference, please, play better video games, okay? Not everything has to involve anime schoolgirls singing about hamburgers.
I forgot how much of a snob you are when it comes to anime and whatnot.
Fucking hate the animus. I'm a self-hating anime watcher.
Alright, Ilya, I brought your thing. Let's do this, I guess. Could we have just taken it back to Ornon and let nature take its course? Memory would have come back eventually.
It's like, this is your dad. Dad! Do you remember your dad? No? Well, she's fucked.
It's not a walrus man, it's just a mustache.
It's like, don't remember your own parents? Well, I'm gonna be over here saving the world. You can deal with your own shit.
Not sure if you noticed this, mate, but the eye on top of that statue kinda reminded me of the Sheikah.
I knew said thing, but I wasn't gonna mention it. But it's okay if you did.
Okay.
I like how she asked, what's wrong with me? So many things.
Let me just equip the list to the B button and I will run down it.
1. You are not plot relevant. 2. You tried to take my horse. 3. Even when you don't remember me, you still act like the cold-hearted bitch you were before. 4. I had to save your prince friend and you didn't even say thank you.
5. You're still not wearing shoes.
6. Even though the kids seem to think you're super cool, I don't see you hanging out with them. Like what?
And 7. Please join us next time for a tad more exciting side quest. Well, I say side quests, it's completely mandatory. We'll see you then.